From WBAZ Radio, it's Interview with the Artist. I'm Walker Vreeland. It's 1 p.m. on a Tuesday when I'm informed that Mario Cantone is on the line for our scheduled interview. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Fantastic. He's calling from the comfort of his bed, where he conducts all of his phone interviews, and we begin chatting about the friends we have in common. Rick Chrome.
Oh, I love Rick Chrome. I go way back.
I get his levels.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Beautiful.
Delightful.
Clear my throat. And we begin. Mario Cantone is a comedian and Tony-nominated actor. He's known for his celebrity impersonations and is perhaps most frequently recognized as Anthony Marantino, Charlotte's wedding planner on Sex and the City. Mario Cantone, welcome.
Well, thank you. What about my many appearances on The View?
Of course. How could I forget?
All right, Walker.
Don't yell at me.
I'm going to see already. I'm scolding you, yelling at you, and I'm doing this all from my bed. I'm just lying in bed like Agnes Moorehead.
Frankly, that is the only way to do an interview. It's the only place from which to do an interview.
I agree. With phone, radio interviews, it's like I like doing it from my bed. This is, at least I'm doing this. You know, sometimes when I have to get up in the morning and do these really early, like I'll wake up like 15 minutes before and just call and do it. And then I go back to sleep.
Do you have a cup of coffee at least before?
No, because then I'll never get back to bed. I just wake my ass up with my annoying voice, and I hear it inside, and it sparks a flame, and then I do it, and then I say goodbye, thank you very much, W whatever, and good night.
Your voice is your own alarm clock.
I guess it is.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you got your start in show business doing a children's show.
Yeah, I did.
Called Steampipe Alley. How did that happen?
I don't know. It sounds like a porn film.
Right? I mean, how was that even allowed?
I don't know. It was, you know, it was Channel 9, WWOR-TV. It was out of Secaucus, New Jersey. It was in the late 80s, and that was a period that studio was doing like Howard Stern's live show and Jackie Mason's live show and Morton Downey Jr. and 9 Broadcast Plaza and the Richard Bay show. I mean, it was all that craziness. And then there was Steampipe Alley. It was on from 88 to 93. And it was, I don't know, I auditioned for it. And this guy, may he rest in peace, Bob Woodruff, he was the executive producer there at the time, and he was a gay guy from Florida, and he just gave me the job. And it was like a sick, crazy kid show that had all adult references, and I mean, we just got away with murder. I don't think it could ever be done. And it was out of Secaucus, and it was and at the time, Channel 9 was like a kind of a superstation. It went across the country to a lot of different markets on cable.
What do you remember most vividly about it?
Oh, I think we had a game called Find Sammy Davis Jr.'s Eye in the Pie. Sammy Davis Jr. and I had to like put a patch over my head, over my eye, and every time we did the game, like Sammy would do a monologue about how he lost his eye, and he always lost it in a different way. Like, this week, man, my eye flew out of my head when Ella Fitzgerald hit a high note, and pop, it flew into the pie in the Viennese table. I mean, it was so sick. It was crazy. And then we had games, and then we had sketches. We had like these sketches where I played like Robert De Niro in Raging Pan. Like Peter Pan, directed by Scorsese.
Oh my God!
Joe Pesci was like Captain Hook, and I played Joe Pesci too. I would do multiple characters, and then the children. We had a troupe of young kids that were like would act on the show, but it was just. And then I would bring my friends on to act too, and my sister played my mother, and it was crazy.
It sounds like a dream come true. I mean, it sounds like you were given a lot of freedom.
Oh, it was the most freedom I've ever gotten in television, and it was the most creatively freeing time I've ever had on television, because it was like the Saturday Night Live for kids who got away with murder. And the target audience was 8 to 15, and we had a lot of adults watching it. 52% of the audience was adults.
How ironic is that it was the most freedom you were ever given on television, and it was a children's show?
I know, and yeah. I know, well, you couldn't get that now because, you know, everyone's so afraid of everything. But it was a great time. It was a really, really good time. We had so much fun. And it only ended because the station was bought by Chris Craft, the boat company, which was supposedly a very conservative company. And they saw the show and was like, "This is horrifying."
This has got to go.
Literally threw us off the air.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, for those who don't know you, your style, and this is true of everything that you do, it is extremely fast-paced, it's physical, it's larger than life. I mean, to call it energetic would be a huge understatement.
Very musical, too. Like, this show that I'm doing in West Hampton, and all my stand-up shows, all my one-man shows, I always have a band, and there's a lot of music involved, musical impressions and original songs and some, so I mix it up a lot. I mean, it's a lot of stand-up, but there's a big chunk of music in there, which is a big part of what makes me a little weird and different, I guess. I mean, I am still high-paced and high energy, and yeah, I've slowed down a little bit because I'm 90 now.
90?
Yeah, I'm so fucking old, I can't bear it.
Well, you look fabulous.
Yeah, well.
But it's true, when you're on stage, and I'm not sure how much you actually think about this, but when you're on stage, I mean, you reach a kind of manic fever pitch in terms of the amount of energy that you are putting out. Have you always had that energy from the beginning? Yeah,
I think so. I think it was more natural at first, and now that I'm old, I have to, I don't know, stick a hot poker in my ass. Going, I have no idea. I don't know how I do it, but I think, and still, I think it was more so that earlier on, and somewhat now too. But I think I've learned to pace it out a little bit better, and I think it's better for the show too. I mean, there's certainly some parts of the show where I am just sitting there. Well, not sitting there, but I'm standing there talking. Maybe not this relaxed since I'm in bed, but I can't even think about it. I don't know. I don't look at it that way, but I guess it is.
I mean, is there anything you do before a performance to sort of ramp yourself up?
No. I guess I get nervous, so that adrenaline with the nerves kind of gives you a kick.
Well, I love your impersonations, and every time I watch your Liza Minnelli impersonation, my head almost explodes. It is just incomparable.
Terrific. You're so terrific. You really are. You're so terrific. Thank you so much. I have to tell you about that concert that I did with Michael. It was such a sensational evening because afterwards I was in the limousine with my fellas, with my dancers, and we passed an International House of Pancakes, and I said, "Jimmy, pull over. It's an IHOP." So me and my dancers.
What was the plan? I mean, for you, career-wise?
I don't know. I knew that I wanted to be an actor, and I knew that if I didn't do something self-contained, that it was going to be hard because I was short and Italian and gay, and I was doing mainstream comedy rooms in the 80s, and I certainly wasn't completely out on stage, but I certainly didn't talk about women or fucking women or being with women or I never lied.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the mid-90s, then it was a different story. But I still don't talk about it that much. I don't talk about my relationship, my marriage, which is now my marriage, but I don't talk about my relationship that much. I don't talk about going out with guys. I just never did. I still don't. Because it's like being a fat comedian and then just doing fat jokes.
Right. It's redundant.
It is. I just do what I do. I talk about what I have a passion to talk about, and that's it. But it's people that have never seen me don't expect what I do, and they don't expect the musical aspect of it. It's very kind of like old school Vegas, but with an edge. It's kind of it's a throwback a bit, except that I swear once in a while.
Well, thank God for that.
Yeah, I know.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Stoneham, Massachusetts, which is in the north, a little north of Boston, a little northeast of Boston, and I graduated from Stoneham High School. I was pretty much an out teen in high school. I was.
What was that like?
It was okay. In the 70s, I don't know how I got away with it. I just was out. I was just, people knew, and a few of my best friends knew, and I didn't get on the intercom and announce it, but I did tell a few friends, and people knew my thing. I was also like doing, talent shows and the musicals and the plays. so I was doing what I wanted to do, and I just was kind of respected for it.
How was your relationship with your family?
It was fine. I mean, I really never. My mother was. I was 21 when my mother died, so I never really said it to my mother, although she knew and she was not happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
I did end up saying it to my father eventually, yeah. But he was cool about it. He really was. And all my siblings knew. My older sisters, my brothers, they knew pretty much right away. And a couple of my cousins, that I was very close to. Yeah, my relationship with them was okay. My mother didn't want me to go into show business. She said it's a horrible business. And she was right. But I did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, it's horrible. And I would be like, you just don't think I'm talented. She goes, I think you're talented. It's just a terrible business. It's going to ruin you. Here I sit going, she was right. It ruined me.
I'm 90 and I'm ruined.
I'm 90 and I'm ruined. That's right. Look at my hands. My hands.
Well, I've seen your impressions of East Coast Italian men.
Yeah.
And I wondered, were the Italian men in your family like that?
A couple of them were, yeah.
How you doing? What's your name? 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 What is it? Tell me. What is it? What is it? What is it? Tina. How you doing, Tina? Where you from? You from here? 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 Where you from? Where you from? Where you from? Long Island? Sure, over there. Over there. Over there. Over there.
And how did you react to that type of guy? Were you terrified? Could you hold your own next to them?
Oh, I was good, but they liked me. They liked me. I mean, I was always usually attracted to them. Not family members, but like friends of mine that were like that kind of a tough Italian kid. I always thought they were cute. They were cute. There was no getting around it. But I was always good with those guys. They thought I was funny. I was their buddy. I mean, he wasn't like that, but the captain of like the football team and the hockey team was like my protector in high school.
It seems like in a way your coming out was no big deal, and you always knew who you were, you always accepted yourself, and therefore other people did too.
Well, and it was in the suburbs of Boston, it was weird. In the 70s, it's like I just knew it was okay through the people that I really looked up to. When my mother would try to terrify me about it, and she thought it was horrible, and I knew she was crazy. So I knew the difference, and I knew who I look up to and would be like, well, I think this is okay.
If you're just joining us, I'm speaking to comedian and actor Mario Cantone. When did you start doing impressions?
Oh, the first impression I ever did was Julia Child, making a crepe Suzette in a talent show in like 7th grade.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was the first time. And then I would do I used to do Edith Ann and Ernestine, like Lily Tomlin. And then Paul Lynde. I used to do Paul Lynde. But they just started to grow, And there were certain ones I was afraid to do, but then I ended up starting to do them on stage.
What were you afraid to do?
I was afraid to do Judy Garland. And I was like, my career is gay enough, and it's over as it is. It's just going to make it worse. But I did it anyway. My friend Lewis, who used to run Catch a Rising Star, was like, you need to do that impression. And
you do. I mean, you do singing impersonations. You sing as Judy Garland.
Yeah, I do.
Will you sing for us? Just like a couple bars as Judy?
Oh, God. I'm in bed.
just a taste.
I don't think it's going to sound good. Well, there was a song that I did in my first one-man show that my husband wrote for her called "My Name Is Gum," and because Judy always married a couple of gay men in her life.
Sure.
So she would sing, "He's half a homo, but I love him. He's half a homo. Is it a sin?" That was from the original Laugh Whore.
Oh, he's half a homo. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was a fun song. It was a sweet song. It's always a difficult song. We did it, and now she's doing a duet with her daughter, who hallucinates her on stage.
Well, which daughter?
Liza. Liza hallucinates her on stage, and they come on and have this conversation, and then they sing a number together.
He's got the whole world.
Remember that? That was from the Palace show, wasn't it?
Right? Yeah. Or was it the Palace or the Palladium?
Oh, the Palladium. That's right, the Palladium. You're right, in London.
In London. You're listening to Interview with the Artist. I'm Walker Vreeland, and today we're speaking to Mario Cantone. I read that you did a workshop for The Lion King as Timon, but then you weren't comfortable using a puppet.
No, I was not.
Why weren't you comfortable using a puppet?
Well, it wasn't just a puppet. I had to paint my face green, strap a puppet around my ass, and walk with it and talk with it. No, thank you. And they wanted me. I was supposed to be I was the original Timon in the Broadway production of The Lion King in the workshop, and I was offered it, and then I was just like, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
And I said no. I've turned down a few big things that people hate me for, but I just don't care. I just didn't want to do it. And it was, I knew it was going to be a big hit. It's a beautiful production. It's a beautiful show. It's great. I just didn't want to do it.
You had already paid your children's theater dues.
Exactly. That's the truth. I did many years in children's theater.
And is it true that had you not left The Lion King, Sex and the City might not have happened?
Well, no, actually, it wasn't even. That was before. It was the producers, the Mel Brooks musical that I didn't end up doing.
Uh-huh.
If I had done that, I don't think I would have been able to go back to Sex and the City. Because, I didn't do a lot of episodes of Sex and the City, but I know that when one does a Broadway show, they don't let you out to go do an episode of a series. They don't do it. I mean, unless you can get it done during the day and the television company can work around you, that's one thing. But television takes a while, and it can go into the nighttime, and it could have messed it all up.
So really, if you had to take a day off to shoot something, they wouldn't allow that and put your replacement on?
No. They didn't even want to let me do 6 months, which is, I think, very reasonable. No, that's the way it is with Broadway. That's the way it is across the board with Broadway. Unless you're a big name.
Do you have a favorite Sex and the City moment on camera or off?
I think one of my favorites, because he was so mean and hilarious. There was a scene that was filmed in cafeteria when Willie, who played Stanford, came up to me and he had his new boyfriend, and he was talking about his prom, and I forget what I was saying to him, but I just kept going, because you're gay. And I just kept saying that to him. He was like, well, no, it's because I didn't go to the prom. I was like, because you're gay. And I just kept saying that to him.
I remember that episode, yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Hi!
Oh, hi.
You were here? What a small world.
That's Chelsea for you. Can't swing a dick without running into someone you know.
Well, we'd love to stay and chat, but we have to go get our tuxes for the prom.
Did you say the prom?
Yes, it's a big fundraiser at the Gay, Lesbian, Bi, Transgender Center. I'm on the decorations committee.
What's the theme? Queer and queerer?
I have the best memories of my prom. I was the prom queen.
Of course you were, darling.
I missed my prom in high school because...
You were gay.
No. My girlfriend and I broke up the night before because...
You were gay.
No, I wasn't gay until...
You were born?
Never mind. Goodbye, Charlotte.
Bye.
Bye, Marcus.
But my favorite episode is the big one when she got married, because that was a lot. I had a lot in that one.
You mentioned this, that you married your long-term partner in 2011. Has being married changed the nature of your relationship?
Yeah, I think it did a little bit. I mean, look, it was always pretty serious. It's been 20 years, but it did. I don't know. Yeah, it did.
How?
I don't know. It feels a little different. I mean, we always have separation anxiety. Anyway, we're kind of inseparable, but we also drive each other crazy. I can't explain it. It's almost like this feeling of, this is it. This is what it is. There's no, I forget what he says, but it's something about, there's no room for divorce. Divorce is out of the question.
I love that.
But we always thought that before, too. But now it's really out of the question.
Are you satisfied with the career you've had? Are you wanting for anything? No?
No. Not satisfied at all.
What haven't you done that you are dying to do?
I haven't done I haven't really been a regular on a series. Those people think that because of Sex and the City and because of Men in Trees, but those are recurring roles. I haven't had a major role on a series. I haven't had a major role in movies except an animated movie. But no, I don't think if you ask anybody, no one's satisfied. Even people that are A-listers are not satisfied. But no, I'm definitely not satisfied with my career. There's, it was tough being openly gay in the 80s. Kidding me? And in the 90s, forget it. You're not going to get a role playing a womanizer when you're out of the closet. You may get one and then come out of the closet. That's the way it's always been.
You've said you would rather bake scones and then sell them outside your window to the Puerto Rican children than do a reality show.
Oh, I'll never do a reality show, no.
Why?
I will. Because what little acting career that I'm holding on to, then that'll kill it even more.
Don't you feel like reality television has just cheapened the industry and the country?
No, I think it's poisoned the airwaves.
Yes.
It's poisoned the airwaves. I think Bravo is a poisonous network. I've never seen an episode of any of those housewives.
Well, I was going to ask you, I know you would never do a reality show, but do you ever watch any?
The only reality show that I like is on Teresa Caputo, and I talk to the dead. I'm a medium. I love her. And what I like about her is she's this crazy, they're this nutty Italian family, but they're not violent or crazy or screaming. I mean, a lot of these reality shows, they really represent the Italians. It's just crazy, mentally ill, violent, verbally abusive nuts. The Jersey Shore, all that stuff, I hate.
Well, I'm the same way, Mario. I mean, I never watch The Real Housewives, and what upsets me is not just that it exists, but that people worship it.
I know. Worship it. Anderson Cooper, I love him, worships it.
Yeah.
He's one of the most brilliant, intelligent men. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's so upsetting to me. He did one of his talk shows, he had them all on. I was like, wow. And the other thing is, the Kardashian thing. It's just appalling. And that's who these girls are looking up to. I mean, that's just as bad.
Lessons learned. Number 1, never forget that Mario has appeared multiple times on The View. Number 2, no one in show business is happy with their career, not even A-listers. Number 3, Mario Cantone has never been the kind of guy who runs away from the jocks. Come to think of it, it's no wonder the tough Italian kids he grew up with liked him so much. He was very much like them, embodying a kind of brute force, a self-assurance, a toughness necessary to survive in his business. And finally, number 4, Mario Cantone is a lesson in perseverance. Listen to Mario talk about the career choices he's made, and you realize it's better to hold out for what you want and weather the disappointments along the way than do something you don't want and betray your own integrity.
I'd rather do a piece of shit, scripted, legitimate show than ever walk onto a reality show.
Interview with the Artist comes to you from WBAZ Radio. I'm Walker Vreeland. Leave your comments and listen to past episodes on our website, interviewwiththeartist.com. Thanks for listening.